Welcome to the Hyatt House Hotel in Lewes, Delaware, Rehoboth Beach area. As we first come into the hotel room, we can see it's nice and crisp and clean with plenty of light. First thing inside the door in this room is a bathroom. As you can see, the bathroom is relatively large for a hotel room. It's got plenty of light. You can see there's a large shower in the back of the bathroom, a decent sized sink, large mirror, toilet, and even some artwork. Overall, the entire room is bright and clean, which is important when using a bathroom in a hotel. It's nice that there's no visible mold, there's no musty odor, it doesn't feel damp, it's nice and clean and airy. You have a nice floor, nice colored walls, and it basically feels comfortable and new. One of the amenities that I like is, if you notice, up on the wall on the right hand side is two big hooks for clothing or towels or something within the bathroom. Oftentimes I get to hotels and they don't have basic hooks like this, which are so important when you want to hang your clothes up instead of leaving them on the floor, or you want to hang up a wet towel so that it can dry overnight. As we move out of the bathroom, let's take a look at what's in the rest of the room. One of the first things you'll see is a nice large mirror on the wall, which is always important and very helpful when you're trying to get yourself ready for the day or dressed. And as we move past the mirror, you'll notice that this particular room is an adjoining room, and there's a nice big door leading into the room next door. Of course, I don't have that room, so I'm not going to be able to go through that door. After that, we have a desk area. It's a pretty decent sized desk for a hotel room. It has a nice lamp on the desk that gives plenty of light, and some shelving above in case you need to store something. In this particular case, the lamp is well appointed because not only behind the desk do you have a power outlet, but on the lamp itself, it's got two power outlets. So if you're using a computer or charging a cell phone, that's a great amenity. One thing that it doesn't have that I would like to see would be a USB or a USB-C port, which makes it easier to charge some of your devices. I'm not quite sure why that's not here, but it's not that big of a deal. The next thing is a very large flat screen TV. TVs seem to get bigger and bigger these days, and this is definitely a big one. As we go past the TV, there's a very nice amenity here, which is something becoming more essential to me, a microwave oven. And it's a good sized microwave oven. It's not one of the small little ones that you might find in a dorm room. We've also got a coffee maker and ice bucket. And there's even a convenient little pouch here where you can reach in and get the coffee mugs, but that's conveniently built into a cabinet, which, as we go and open the cabinet door, we can look inside the cabinet, and we find more amenities, including a small mini fridge, which is down below. Take a look at that, and it's pretty decent size. So it's really nice to have the refrigerator and the microwave in case you want to bring some of your own food. Additionally, there's a basket of goodies here. Let's see what we have. Inside this basket is the coffee and tea. Coffee for the coffee maker, of course. And let's see what type of coffees they have. Here's a regular pack of coffee for the coffee maker. I believe behind this one is another second pack of coffee. And let's see, over here, there it is. They have decaf coffee. I was wondering, especially when the day gets later, for those who enjoy coffee but don't want to have the caffeine because you don't want it to interrupt your sleep in the evening, this is a really nice amenity. So there's 2 packs of the decaf coffee. So let's go ahead and put that away, and we'll continue on with our exploration of the room. Okay, let's close up the cabinet and let's see what's next in store. The next thing that we have here is a nice closet, double doors, so it's easy to get in and out of. I'm not so sure that I'm a fan of the sliding doors because half of the closet is always difficult to access. We have a large window with lots of light coming in. The view itself is a parking lot, so it's not the best, but given where we are, it's not a terrible negative either. And inside the window, we have a chaise lounge. Looks quite comfortable, clean, crisp. You can tell that things here are new. Plenty of space to sit and read during the day or relax, and you get plenty of that natural daylight. As we move from there, we've got good lighting, and that brings us over to the area where we have 2 queen-size beds in the room. So let's check out on the side of the first bed. We've got some outlets in the wall here, as well as a clock. The clock itself has a USB and a USB-C port. Those are over the nightstand where we can have a CPAP that we can easily place and plug in. So that's a very nice, convenient amenity for the room. It's always important because people with CPAPs, they can come and find either no place to set the machine, or even if there's a place to set the machine, there's no power outlet for it. It's always a problem. So this one has a nice big power outlet and nightstand on one side of the bed here. Let's take a look at what else. The bed itself has white linens, very clean, very well made bed. Sometimes you'll find little hairs or spots or things on the beds. In this case, you don't find any of that. This is a nice, clean hotel room. Each bed has 3 pillows, although I will have to say I'm a little bit disappointed in the pillows because these are small, square pillows. They're not the size you would expect for a queen-size bed. Little bit troublesome. I'm not quite sure why they would do that. If you had 2 people sleeping in the bed, they'd each get a small square pillow. The pillows themselves are feels like foam. They're definitely not filled with feathers. So, but they're new, so they're nice and fluffy. You're not going to have a dead flat pillow here. These are nicely maintained rooms. Let's take a look at the area in between the 2 beds. There's a very large night table here, plenty of room for people in each bed with a nice big lamp over the night table. Again, space for CPAP machines if you are a CPAP user. And the question becomes, is there a place to plug them in? And the answer is yes, there is. On either side of this particular lamp on the night table, there is a power outlet, a single outlet on each side, which is always very helpful. But again, no USB or USB-C ports. So if you plugged in your CPAP, if you had one, you would not be able to plug in your phone to charge that or any other things unless you took up both plugs. Of course, that means the person in the other bed isn't going to have any place to plug anything in. But again, you can see over the beds there's some nice bright painting. The coloring on the wall is fresh and nice and open and airy. It makes for a comforting room that's not dark and dreary. Some hotels go too far into the beiges and the off-whites to the point that they just kind of look stale and old. This particular room uses blues and whites. Blues, of course, very calming, which is also helpful when you're using a place for sleeping because you want to be able to relax. You don't want anything that's jarring. As we go to the other side of this other bed, there is no nightstand here, and also looking around, there's no plugs anywhere. So if you did have two people in this bed, again, because this is a sleep channel, we look for access for CPAPs. Here there is no place that you could put a CPAP machine and no place that you could plug it in. So, but all of the other spots in both beds do have a nice area to place the CPAP and plenty of spaces to plug it in. So let's go back and take a look at the window. As you can see at the time of this recording, it's very bright outside and plenty of natural light comes into the room. But the question becomes, can we make the room dark if we needed to sleep? So let's take a look at what they've done with their window treatments. First, we've got, let's see what this one does. Wrong direction. And let's see if we can get this to come down. Here we go. Okay, so you can see that this is a shade more than it is a room darkening type of window covering. It's definitely doing a good job of cutting down on the heat from the sun and the sunlight. This could be good for privacy since you are overlooking a parking lot. I would assume people could see into the room if they looked up and looked in. So that's a nice benefit, but the question then becomes, can we darken the room? And we're about to find the answer because behind this sunshade there's another window covering, and let's see what this one does. Got to figure out which direction to pull the little chain here, and if we can get the right one. And looks like this will be the right direction. Here we go. Almost immediately you can see how when this window covering comes down, you see absolutely no light coming through it. And it's even set into channels on each side so it's not fluttering around and moving around in the wind when people walk past it. So as I pull this down, you can see I've got the lights on in the room because this is definitely a room darkening shade and it works quite well. So this is a big plus for having a cool, comfortable room, nice comfortable beds, dark window coverings blocking out the light, and also the option for the shade, the sun shade during the day. So let's go ahead and open this one back up and let the light back into the room. I would say, as rooms go, this definitely ranks up there with the typical 4-star hotels. I believe technically it's rated at a 3.5, but I disagree. I think this is a clear 4-star hotel, and it looks like it has been well maintained and well thought out. There's enough space to walk around. I don't find myself tripping over anything. Temperature and the air conditioning system works very well. It's actually a little bit chilly in here. I'm going to be turning that down in a little bit. But everything is new, clean. I don't see any chipped paint. I don't see any mold on the walls. I don't see any areas. Oftentimes you'll find areas where housekeeping hasn't really focused on cleaning, like under the beds or under the nightstands or um, in the corners, things like that. Here, everything looks nice and clean, so really no complaints. Um, Big beds, again, my only complaint with this room, to be honest, is the small square pillows. It's just not what I would expect for a comfortable night's sleep. But again, not a huge complaint. So overall, I think this is a very nice room for sleeping purposes. We've got the ability to make it dark even during the day. Plenty of space for CPAP machines, plenty of outlets available for the CPAP machines. The other small negative is no USB ports or USB-C style ports except for one on the clock. But overall, like I said, 4-star, great hotel, nice beds, good place. I'm sure you'll get plenty of restful sleep here.